On this episode of Africans in Sports,
dropped him like a stone.
All I was doing was watching videos of fighting, training, looking for people I could spar, looking for where I could fight. That was all that was in my mind, you know. My roots will always be Nigerian, and that's, you know, when I went back to Nigeria after 22 years, man, 22 years it took me. I landed and I touched the land, I say, Niger.
What's up, African sports fans? Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Chris Kosizi Strawn, and today we're coming to you from freezing cold and snowy Poland. I'm excited about this one today because I get to dive into the mind of Nigerian boxer, world champion kickboxer, and now MMA fighter, Izu Ugonoh. What's going on, bro?
Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you too,
So
man.
good,
How you
so
doing?
good. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well.
Nice. I got to see you do your thing over there.
Yeah. I'm just learning, you know. I'm just taking my first steps in this mixed martial arts, but yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I see you. You look like you're having fun out there.
Yeah, I am. You know, it's very challenging. At the same time, it's just new things. At the end of the day, it's still fighting, so it's my main passion, and I'm happy that I'm making the transition. Therefore, you know, I have what I had earlier, my kickboxing, my boxing, you know, and now I'm learning the ground game and learning new things. So it's really exciting for me.
I'm excited for you too, man. I've been here for 2 days. I've been looking around and I haven't seen too many black people. So I want to know, what made your parents come to Poland?
You know, it's I've been asking my parents this question as I was growing up. I was like, you know, I was looking around and I was like, I mean, something went horribly wrong here. I mean, like, you know, I tried to ask my parents the question, like, why are we here? You know, it's like, oh, we came here because we wanted to study. And I was like, yeah, but why are we here? You know, same question. So the thing is that my father came to Poland, was it late 70s? Yeah, late 70s or early 80s. At that time, Poland was still a communist country. And he came here to study. He had a chance either studying medicine back in Nigeria or studying navigation. He's a sailor. Poland had a very good schooling system. They still do. And just years ago, I got to know that my father had a chance of actually going to England. And he was like, you know, oh, Daddy, like, you know, I just chose Poland because you couldn't get your master's in England at that time, something like that.
Right.
And that's why he chose Poland. And after that, you know, living here for a couple of years, he went back to Nigeria. Obviously, he tried his luck here with the Polish women, but it didn't work out for him. So he went back to Nigeria. And he married back in his village, and he got married to my mom. He brought her over here. My mom also studied in Poland. So now we have two Nigerian parents who are actually, you know, having children. I have 4 sisters.
Nice.
And all of us were all born here in Poland.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the story. People usually go like, oh, okay, so they hear me speak Polish, right? And they're like, okay, all right. So who is Polish, your mom or your dad? You know, like, none of them. You know, it's like, how did this happen? You know, and then again, for example, if I meet, Warsaw is a little bit different because you'll still see more black people in this part of Poland. Okay. But a lot of times they'll be like, oh yeah, where are you from? And I'll be like, I have to answer that one, right? So I'm from Nigeria, but actually I was born here, you know? And I said, no kidding, man, no way. You know, they're trying to think, how did I go through all the process? Actually, Poland is a lovely place to live, you know, and it's my home, you know, it's my home. I enjoy being here. I represent Poland when I fight. I did that as a kickboxer, as a boxer, and I'll continue to represent this country. Not forgetting about my roots, obviously.
Right,
so,
we can't forget that. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. So I'm really happy to have you guys here and, you know, hear my story.
Bro, it's a pleasure to be here, man. Tell me what it was like growing up here in Poland with 2 Nigerian parents. I know you guys did things the Nigerian way. How was that?
I would say partly the Nigerian way because there's no escaping from the outside environment. The first thing was that we didn't really, you know, as we went out, we wanted to speak Polish. We didn't get a while we had to speak English at home, and you know, my parents would still speak to us in the native dialect.
Yeah.
And we didn't enjoy that, you know, like we want to be like other kids. All kids want to be like other kids.
Right.
You know, that's what it is. And so it used to be a problem. But my parents, you know, kept pressing, and which I'm very grateful to them for. And yeah, I had a very loving home. At the same time, like I say, the outside environment wasn't very. It was challenging. It was challenging. Back in the days, Poland was, you know, they used to have a lot of. I don't want to talk about racism, but you had this movement of skinheads, which was pretty big in Poland, you know? Yeah. And they didn't like me, you know? They didn't like blacks, they didn't like lots of people, you know? They didn't like long hair, you know? They just didn't like any different, you know? So that was problematic to me growing up. So I had to fight. Even like when I was 11 years old, 12 years, I was already tall, you know? So I was, and then I'll go out, I'll be fighting guys 17, 18, you know, 25 and stuff like that. So looking back at it, it was really rough. And I'm from Gdańsk. I lived in one part of Gdańsk. That's where I lived from when I was 9 years old. And because my parents didn't want to, you know, they felt they don't want to change my school, because like people knew me in my school. So, you know, obviously I was the only black, my sister and I were the only black kids. So they knew us, you know, once they got to know us, everyone was friendly, because it's like that. Usually people just don't know, they don't understand. That's why they, you know, they might have some opposition or whatever. So they didn't want to move schools for us. But because of that, I had to, every day I would be traveling all of Gdańsk, which took me about 45 minutes to get to school. So on my way to school and on my way back to school, that's where I had the biggest problems for years, you know. Fighting, all kind of, you know, crazy things, you know. But to be honest, I have to say that I was very lucky, and you know, I never got, you know, of course I got into fights. I got my ass whooped. I whooped some people, you know. So it's like normal stuff, you know. I didn't get stabbed. I didn't get, you know, I didn't end up in the hospital.
Yeah, straight hands.
So, you understand, you know. You know, there was blood a couple of times and stuff like that. But you know,
it's like that sometimes.
At the end of the day, I'm like, you know, it wasn't good, you know, emotionally. It was hard going through all of that. But, you know, I think I was still lucky enough, and it still benefited me at the end of the day.
Speak about the emotional aspect of that. What did it do for you?
Well, I think it made me stronger from one side. I think, but it also, I had to search a lot, because the main thing was that I didn't understand why, you know, if you're 5 years old and someone tells you, you know, go back to your country, go back to Africa, and you actually didn't come from anywhere, you know, it's like, you know, you can't even voice it out, saying like, you know what, like, I live here, I've been here, you know, I'm from here, you know, you can't say it, because you just don't really understand why they would act, you know, the way they are. And so for a long time, I was just angry, you know, I just had this anger in me, and it took years for me to be able to vocalize it and myself understand what was making me so angry. And you know, like, I've been to different places in the world, and that also gave me a different outlook and a different perspective. Like, you know, I lived in close to you guys in Las Vegas. I stayed there for 2 years about. You know, I lived for a while, flying in and out in New Zealand and stuff like that. So it also made me appreciate Poland way more, because it really shaped me into the person that I am today. At the same time, I've got into a stage, you know, I'm 33 years old now, and I just came back from Nigeria, and I'm rediscovering my roots, because at the end of the day, we need all these, you know, puzzles to be, I would say, complete. So I'm working on it, you know.
What are these new discoveries you found?
Obviously, you know, like I say, no matter what, if I call myself, like in Poland, people love, you know, hearing that I represent Poland. They like hearing that, okay, that I'm Black Pole and stuff like that, because it is kind of what I can't just say, you know, I'm Nigerian, because I can't. Because
you were born here.
I was born here, you
Raised
know,
here.
and if I just say I'm Polish, well, you know,
but you're black,
you kind of don't look. You know, it's like, all right. So I'm a Black Polish man, and
that's cool.
But at the same time, my roots will always be Nigerian, and that's when I went back to Nigeria after 22 years, man. 22 years it took me to get. I'm very, very happy. I went there. I went with my younger sister, and I landed and I touched the land. I say, Niger, my papa's land. You know, I felt very welcomed. I felt like I don't need to do anything. I don't need to prove anything. You know, I just landed and I'm home. You understand? So it was a good feeling. It was a very, very good feeling, and I kind of came back from there relaxed and very motivated. Yeah, I saw my grandma. You know, it was very
It's a lot of love.
Emotional. Yes, so much love. You know, from people who when you're here, you just rushing, trying to do your things, trying to achieve things and do things. Okay, once I get there, once I do this. And there I just went and I felt like, man, it's, sometimes we just need to slow down and appreciate what we have and where we are and, and where we're from. It's like
So
cherish the little things and the most important things, honestly, the most important things. So it was good.
What was your favorite part about that trip home?
The weather.
Yeah.
The food, I enjoy the food. Like, back at home, everything's organic, man. Like, you get fish, it's organic, you get suya, which is like,
I'm well aware
I don't know
of
if it's,
what it is.
suya?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
It's my favorite Nigerian
Oh,
food.
man, I loved it.
love it.
And for some reason, everything I've tried and I've eaten when I went back home, it was like, I got the best, you understand? So some of the things I didn't really like so much, like here in Europe, okay, pepper soup, I don't, but the one I tried in Nigeria, it was delicious.
Yeah.
Like seriously, I was happy. So it's, like I say, the weather, food, and family.
Of course.
You just can't beat that, and I'm from a big family. My mom's got a lot of brothers and sisters. My grandma was there. I saw some of the similarities between my mom and my grandma. So I just felt, I felt like I haven't seen these people in 22 years. Some of them I never met because, like, my cousins were down from the age of 4 till like till 19. So I didn't meet none of them. So I just got to know them, and now we are like connected. Like, we can start building from here. So
There's no better feeling than that.
very, very important. So I really came back, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to work now. Yeah.
What was it like being the only boy with 4 girls?
My father, because he was sailing and he wasn't at home a lot of the times. He was absent a lot of the time. Unfortunately, I have to say that I really tried to play the role of the man at home.
The leader.
Yeah, exactly. It's natural, I guess. So I tried being, there to support my mom, and I also tried to be, like a father figure for my younger sisters, my 3 younger sisters, and I'm still learning how to be, how to be a good man, because I think that's the role. Like, okay, being a fighter, being this, being that. At the end of the day, you have to be a man. You have
First and foremost.
Yeah. So you have to be a man. You have to take care of your family. You have to take care of the people around you. And I'm still striving to be, to be. It was hard for me not seeing a lot of examples. It would be really helpful for me had I found my, someone I could,
That role
hold
model.
into, a role model. But what actually happened to me is that I found my passion in fighting, and that was like I was almost 20 when it happened, So, but when that happened, it's like something just clicked, and I was so focused on one thing that martial arts and reading, reading. I was reading lots. I was reading like 50 books a year.
Wow.
And that was also something that was making me grow. And of course, if you're reading that much, you stay away from trouble.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Because you get into the habit of, okay, I train, I eat, I go home, I was spending time on my own, like kind of growing, So I think those were, except, me finishing my studies, that was one of the best things that I did. And I was also challenged to do that by another fighter who told me that, hey, man, I read lots of books. I was like, how many did you read? I was like, I thought maybe 10 books. And he told me he read 80 books in, 2 years. I was like, really? And, I was inspired.
Yeah.
So I was inspired, like, man, that's like, I like the guy. I love the way he he fought, and at the same time he was intelligent, you know, and a good guy. So that was my inspiration. I was inspired. So I hope all the people out there who are searching, who don't know the way, you know, that they find the inspiration in the right things. You know, that's crucial.
For sure.
Yeah.
How did you find that? Can you take me? You said you started when you were 20. How did you find this passion?
Before I was 20, I was playing football, which is soccer here, you know, for you guys, but it's football, right? So I was playing football. I played it for about 9 years, and I was pretty good. But not good enough to make it, you know, my job and to be earning money.
Okay.
So once I was on trials in Spain, I was lucky enough to get to Spain. You know, there was a manager back in the days, Mr. Darlington. I'll just remember his name. He was a Nigerian as well. He saw me. He took me to Spain for the trials. And unfortunately for me, they told me that I'm not the kind of player they're looking for. So I was very heartbroken at that time. And I was just 19, but at the same time, you know, like I said, I was hoping this is going to be the thing. I was ready to give up my studies because I was on the first year of studies. I was ready to give it all up so that I start, you know, playing, making money, supporting my family, you know. But it didn't work out.
No, that was God closing one door and opening another for you.
Exactly. But I also knew, you know, I spoke to my mom, you know, how disappointed I was. You know, she, you know, called me on the phone, told me she's proud of me, you know, she's always been. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna give it. And at the same time, I already knew, I had this deep love for martial arts all my life, you know, so it's not like, oh, I went, no, it was in me, you know. I fought, and I always got very excited when I was fighting. So when the moment I landed back in Poland, straight away I went to a club, to a gym. The same day I went for training. Wow. And 2 months after that, I had my first fight.
Oh, snap.
2 months. I'm telling you, and after that, everything was just going so fast.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, I then understood why I couldn't be so successful in football, because I didn't have that love, because I found my true love. All I was doing was watching videos of fighting, training, looking for people I could spar, looking for where I could fight. That was all that was in my mind, you know. So I was like, look at this is what the real dedication is, you know. And in football, I wasn't really watching games. I loved playing, but I didn't watch the games. I didn't study it like I did with.
You didn't fall in love with studying.
And this, I was like, it just felt like a journey, you know. So anytime I even speak about it, I get so excited because it was beautiful.
Izu's fighting career has evolved since the beginning. Just 4 years after leaving football and getting in the gym, he became the heavyweight kickboxing world champion. With nowhere else for his kickboxing career to go, he picked up the gloves and became a boxer, going 18-2 with 15 knockouts. Now, he's taken to the mat and is becoming a mixed martial artist.
Why the change? Why boxing, kickboxing, MMA?
Mainly because I wanted to grow. Kickboxing, I didn't have the opportunities. I got to a place where I was like, okay, what do I do? You know, I wanted to grow. I wanted to get better. I wanted to learn. And in kickboxing, like I said, I achieved a lot. Of course, I could still develop some things, but it was me traveling to, you know, Holland, me bringing out coaches from abroad, from Belarus, White Russia, and so in a way, I wouldn't say that I was jammed. I wasn't, but I was in a place where I was like, okay, so what's my next step? And I decided, okay, let me, you know, challenges. You know, that's, you know, you gotta keep going. Okay, let me go, let me learn, let me see. It's either it works or it doesn't work. And once I made that step, I also like to finish stuff. So I kept going, kept pushing. But the thing is that I lost something there. You understand? It's like, you know, after that I say, I don't think I'm gonna fight, because if you don't have that something, there's no need entering a ring or whatever, you know. But it wasn't that, you know. It took some time. I went back to kickboxing, and I was like, what was lost is that I didn't have the passion for it anymore. Like, you know, unfortunately, in one of my preparation for my previous fight, my coach died. You know, died. Yeah, and he was, and he was like, you know, he was an icon in this place. You understand? So. After that, we brought another good coach from abroad, from Spain, and he was doing a good work. But honestly, you know, I still tried to keep going because, you know, he made the decision. A lot of people were counting on me. A lot of people thought that I can do it. I can be, but you know, I can now say with peace in my heart that I'm happy that road is over, you know, because I just, you know, had I won my last fight, I would have to keep going. You understand?
That's true.
It's horrible because I know, you know, I talk to myself, man, I'm better than that guy. You know, I shouldn't have lost that fight. I'm better than him. He was very determined and stuff, and he came for me, you know. But I'm better. Like, you know, he beat me, but it's like he didn't beat, there was something in me that just didn't want to continue this road, you know. But had I known that I would be, you know, facing this kind of internal conflict during the fight, I wouldn't get in the fight. But unfortunately, I wouldn't have known otherwise. So I got to the fight, and I just couldn't fire my punches. You know, I couldn't, you know, do it. And I know why it happened, because I didn't want to continue this road. I was tired. Other people are facing the same thing, maybe, you know, working a job, they're not feeling it anymore, you know, but they're still getting paid, or, you know, they've been doing it all their life. You get to a point in life where you have to make a change. If you don't make the change at that stage, you will suffer later in the future. You're already suffering, actually, you know, but so with this being said, I believe that even though losing the fight was very painful for me, it was also you know, something that showed me that, you know, I can deal with that. You know, it's like nothing broke in me. I just had to lose the fight so I can make another step into something else, you know.
What keeps you motivated?
I don't stay motivated, you know. I don't stay motivated, but right now I am, and it's because I have my elements in check. Like I say, I have my spiritual life, my faith, very important. Then like my mental, I'm also taking care of that. And my physical, obviously, is the training and the sparrings and all of that. So, yeah, I try to stay away from more kind of drama, or like just from junk, like, you know, like TV, the fast foods, like partying, all of that, just all that
garbage
stuff.
in, garbage out.
Exactly, all that garbage is out of my life right now. So I'm really focused on the right things, and then it's much easier to stay motivated this way.
Do you have any current goals?
Yeah, like, you know, I want to keep. This year, I really want to grow, like, spiritually. What I'm saying by that is, like, you know, I kept going with God. It was, for me, it was like back and forth. I was like, oh, you know, I'll live my life the way I want to live. Then I'll go back and I'll say, oh, God, you know. But now I really want to grow spiritually. So at the end of the year, I would really love to say that, you know, I've covered a part of the Bible, which I'm back to reading it on a daily basis. I've learned how to actually trust Him more. And which is hard, you know, it's hard for every human being to, you know, to trust God, you know, trust the word of God, you know. So that's important to me. I don't know, some might think it's crazy, but it's really important. It's important to me. And I can't go back from this. This is what I have to do.
What's your ultimate goal?
I would like to really be a good Christian, which means to be to live like Jesus Christ. And,
more Christ-like.
Yeah, more Christ-like. So it's really important to me. I mean, I've done lots of things. I've done lots of stupid things.
We all have.
A lot of, it's just different levels.
That rounds you out, man. You look back at that stuff and you say, like, that was stupid. I'm not going to do that. And when I have kids, I'm going to make sure that
I would try. Listen, I would try. I would try. So, and you know, I would really love to have a family of my own, you know, and definitely what I'm doing right now is I'm preparing myself, because my mind still wasn't right for me to be ahead of the family. So that's what I think. Be more Christ-like, you know, have a family, and you know, try to raise, you know, your kids in a godly way, because you know, our time here is short, and you know, it goes so fast.
The young Izu is looking at 33-year-old Izu. What would you tell him?
Hey, I would give him a big hug and tell him, hey, listen, it's all going to be all right. You know, just calm down, take your time. It's going to be all right. Yeah, and probably I will pick up fighting earlier.
Yeah? Why you say that?
Because, you know, I stopped living with my mom when I was 18. And I always wanted to fight. She didn't want to let me fight because she felt that I'm aggressive, that I'm this, you know, and I was. So I think I would have guided myself. Could I have done that? I would have guided myself into fighting, into making sure that I don't get hurt, that I understand the game. Obviously, if being a parent, you can care for your child in a way that okay, this is good for him, this is too much, and stuff like that. Because like I said, I started fighting when I was 20.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's just it. But it's I could have started it earlier.
Was your mom supportive of you playing sports?
Yeah, but no fighting.
No fighting. You
No
can play all the
fighting.
football you want.
No
Just
fighting.
don't be out here fighting.
Yeah, so that's it. That's
Okay.
it. So, and I stopped living with her when I was 18. So that's when I started thinking.
when you
I
went-
still went where what I wanted. I still did what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You see, Mom?
It worked out, Mom.
Yeah.
Man, bro, I'm super excited to see your spiritual growth, your mental growth, and see you take this MMA journey to great, great heights, bro. It's been an honor to sit down
Thank
here
you.
and dive into you, your culture, your family. Man, thank you so much, bro.
Thank you, brother. I will do my best.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a
You got
lot.
a fan right here.
Yeah, thanks, man.
That's Izu. I'm Chris Kosizi. This is African in Sports. We out of here, baby.